Hello, everybody. My name's Alan Bliss. I'm going to take you through some fun features and things today. And this is targeted towards a civil engineer in mind, but a lot of this PDF type will apply across other disciplines, construction, other engineering, architecture as well. But wanted to take some time and focus on civil. What I had to kind of touch base on is really getting into today how to create those high quality PDFs that we can work with. For the drafter designer, you're upstream, from that senior engineer, project manager type, and who's going to be working with the PDFs. So just like how we get those PDFs to look nice and more usable, where we have the stamps and all that kind of stuff. Layers, calibration of scale, all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the tools for scaling. If the scale doesn't pop through, how to scale those. Anytime you have a known measurement on the drawing, we can put it to scale using the calibrate tool, and so we're going to go into that. It's going to get into controlling layers that come in from AutoCAD. So your AutoCAD layers, we can actually get into those in the PDF in Bluebeam, and so how to go about doing that. It's a really cool tool, especially if you're not in the AutoCAD, the Civil 3D so much yourself as a project manager, senior engineer, but you know about layers. You used to do it back in the day, or you know what your drafters are going through, and you wish you could just toggle some layers on and off, and that would just solve your problem. That's a game changer right there, for sure. Totally worth the value of the software, that one alone. The QTO tools, quantity takeoff tools, we're going to go through a bunch. Some really fun, cool stuff, and a lot of cool tips and tricks along the way. I got a whole bunch in here, probably more than I'll be able to get to today. And so I've got more in the queue for you guys for next time. If you want to reach out to me and talk more, we can always schedule, more demos and that kind of stuff. You can request a demo with yours truly, and we can go through some more of those kind of tips and tricks and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's what we have planned today. Who is this beautiful voice you're hearing over this webcast? Millions and millions of civil engineers coming in here from all over the world. People driving in from Alaska to hear this, to see and sit here with this presentation today. I'm down here in San Diego. Like I said, my name's Alan Bliss. I'm an application expert here at IMAGINiT. My background is in civil. Been working in civil and land surveying, since I could walk. My old man was a land surveyor and civil engineer and a workaholic, and I'd be out in the field, digging up monuments, digging holes, holding a pole. And later on, when he was in the office, on the weekends and stuff, I'd play on the AutoCAD, did my science projects and stuff, drew them on AutoCAD, the big trifold, that you put up at the science fair, drew that all, plotted it out on the plotter, put it adhesive. I was looking fly. Went to work, took AutoCAD as electives in high school and stuff, so it's been a long time in my blood, my muscle memory. Went to work straight out of high school, full-time as a drafter, and cut my teeth in civil and land surveying and mapping, and worked my way through college and on throughout my career. Been a full-time in the civil world ever since. Worked my way up, designer roles, had some stints in environmental geotech, worked my way up as a CAD manager, really liked that kind of work, and did that in small mom and pop shops as well as big firms around Southern California, and eventually landed in this Autodesk reseller type channel where we do a lot of training and do a lot of consulting, custom builds for workflows in AutoCAD, Civil, Bluebeam, you name it. So that's a little bit about me, and that's who's talking to you today. So if you want to ask any questions when we get to the Q&A, it takes advantage of that kind of background and the workflows and, little tools, tips, tricks, frustrations you're feeling with Bluebeam. Feel free to access that and capitalize on that when we get to that point at the end of this webinar. All right, let's jump into it. I'm going to throw on my review up here. If I use the word Bluebeam and review interchangeably, review is actually the name of the app. So Bluebeam is the name of the company. Think like Adobe, Acrobat, that kind of thing. So don't be alarmed. Don't be like, what is he talking about? I didn't know about that. It's the same. It's the same. All right. I have something to show you about making these high quality PDFs. I'm going to pop over to Civil 3D for a quick second. When we plot, we can plot from this AutoCAD general documentation PDF, and we'll also have a Bluebeam PDF printer. You can also go to your Output tab, and when you install Bluebeam, you'll have a Bluebeam plugin out here on your Output ribbon to create PDFs from there. Now, the difference in creating those with the CAD printer versus the Bluebeam printer, let's take a look. When I use that CAD printer, it's going to bring in a bunch of these viewports, and it's going to give you this little warning message when you open that PDF. This document contains a bunch of viewports that may interfere with your collaboration measurements. Would you like to remove them? Go ahead and hit yes when you see that. It's giving you a warning saying, in this instance, since I printed that with the AutoCAD printer, these viewports aren't helpful to me in Bluebeam that come over like that. And the other PDF, you may go, oh, okay, well in Adobe or the other PDF software, I don't get these kind of warnings or whatever. Those viewports are still coming in that software. It just doesn't have the capability to navigate those viewports and give you those kind of warnings. So it's extra junk going in there. You can go ahead and delete those. And I'll tell you what those viewports mean in Bluebeam here in a second. We're going to go into that. But those viewports don't mean the same thing as they mean in AutoCAD or in Civil 3D. Viewports in AutoCAD and Civil 3D are your ability to go from paper space and have that magical viewport that you draw on paper space that takes you into the model and you can scale it, and it's a real-time feed on your paper that takes you back into the model space. It's like you're in the future. That's not what viewports are in Bluebeam at all. Bluebeam viewports are little areas on the sheet that allow you to have a different scale calibration. We're going to practice that in just a second. Let's take a look at the Bluebeam printer. You'll see when I open that Bluebeam printer, no extra viewports, no warning that comes up with those extra viewports. So that's a key difference right there, using the Bluebeam printer or the Bluebeam plugin. And something that's going to help a lot. Let's look at the calibration tool and how we can calibrate our scale. Got a sample for you. Here it comes. Woo. Wrong sample, but we're going to use that one in a second. All right, so here is something that came in, scale not set. So a PDF that was made from AutoCAD, but the scale didn't come in, and it's got a weird paper size. You can set the scale as long as you have any known dimension anywhere in the drawing. So even if you went down to the city county office and you took a picture with your iPhone off something on the microfiche, however you get it, you take that big JPEG picture, put it in as a PDF in Bluebeam. As long as there's a known dimension somewhere on there, we can scale it and calibrate it. To get that calibration tool up, you can just click right there where it says scale not set in the bottom right corner. You can see we can do a preset scale. As it says, it's 1/8 inch equals a foot. However, that's going to get blown on this particular one because this was printed onto a 23.8 by 17 inch piece of paper when it should be like an ArcD 24 by 36 inch. So we don't want to just put in that 1/8 inch equals a foot, standard type scale, because that's still not going to match up. But you have that ability to do so if the paper size is right. We'll do that here in my second example when we get into those viewports here. But you could do this custom tool right here and go to calibrate. And then you can come and snap on to your scale or whatever known dimension you have. Boom. It's going to make that scale up. And now we got a proper scale in there. And we can test it with some measure tools. See how that's coming up. Oh, I forgot to put the, I forgot to, I put 20 feet in there. I skipped that step. But that was 16 feet, I had to tell it. Right there, that is 16 feet. And we'll go measure. Boom, now we're to scale. So all of our measurements for area, distances, everything in this document are now gonna be to scale. And that's how easy it is to calibrate and change those calibrations around. Let's take an instance where we have multiple scales on the same sheet or in the same document. As we can see here, I got different scales going. And we have this a lot in civil. You know, you're planning profiles. You might have different for, you know, site plans, grading plans, might be a 20 scale, 40 scale in varying places. And so we can add viewports in for these measurements. If you go to your measurements tool right there, measurements tab, you can add viewports. So this is what viewports mean in Bluebeam. When it says, do you want to delete these viewports that came from AutoCAD? And you hit yes, it's because they don't do the same thing as this. We could go right here. We see that the paper size came in right, but the scale's not set. So we'll set this area right here where I drew that rectangle. All the scale is going to be 1/4 inch to a foot. I'll hit apply. And then there's a different scale up here. That one's 1/8 inch to a foot. I'm going to hit that. Make me a new viewport. Thank you. Right there. Switch that up. Thank you. Okay. So now I got 2 viewports there. And so when I'm running my tools to measure, let's say I got this room right here with the stairs in it. Let's say I measure that wall in between the columns, 22 foot, 6 inch. All right, make me look cool in front of my friends. Better do it. All right, 22 feet and 6 inch, 22 feet and 6 inch. Different scales, but now with that viewport tool, really cool and slick. I can just go through, once I set all my viewports for the varying scales, I can just go through and start doing my measurements and my quantity takeoffs and all that kind of stuff. And don't have to worry about rescaling or calibrating in those areas anymore. Pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at what I got else. What else? What else? What else do I got for you? So much stuff. So much stuff. All right. Let's look at this controlling layers a bit right here. All right. So these AutoCAD PDFs that come over, when we print those, you'll see right here you have a layers tab in your Bluebeam. And this is really awesome for the PM, for the person who is not in AutoCAD anymore or just doesn't use it, but they know about layers and they know that all the different line work and text and items are sorted out by layers. And then in AutoCAD, we can turn those on and off. You can go to say, we're going to do some quantity takeoff work or something on the storm drain. You can right click on it and hit isolate. Wake up. Oh, there it goes. Just took a second. I had to think. It's like I'm thinking, and there it goes. It thought about it, and it did it. Okay. So this is everything that is on that storm drain layer in this drawing. Pretty cool. You can go back to show all. You can freeze layers. Sometimes as a PM or something, you need to show something to the client, and there might just be one junk layer. Little things like that, and you don't want to redline it, send it back to the drafter, have to wait to get that back to send it to the client. You're like, okay, all I need to do is, take the storm drain stuff out of this. Look at that, I just froze it, it's not there anymore. So you just make it not visible. See it coming on and off. So you can freeze things and you can isolate them. You have all that kind of control over the layers that are showing up right here in Bluebeam. And I'm in Bluebeam, not in AutoCAD. Some people get confused. They're like, wait, layers. Yeah, it's totally there. Let's look at some of the cool tools for quantity takeoff that we have available to us. I go over here to my measure. Gotta set my scale. This one's a 20 scale. Preset 20 scale will be fine. I'll hit apply scale. Thank you. I'm gonna go right here in my measurements tab. I can hit my polyline measurement. And I can start going to work. Tracing over those lines. There's so much control we have over these type of measurements. You can click there, you can go to your properties icon. You can see by default, they're gonna come in with measurements on each segment. You could make the whole run, just one measurement. You just toggle that off, show segment values. And there you go, you get that whole measurement there. If you click on this, show you another cool thing. You can right click on it, that new markup that we made. And we can go to where are you? Oh, legend. I was looking for the word table. I'm so sorry. Call it a table in AutoCAD. We can go right here and make an automatic legend for our markups. Really cool, handy quantity takeoff tool. This thing is dynamic. Oh my goodness, it's dynamic. Oh yeah. I can keep making measurements as I go. Look, right now is at 201 and change. I keep measuring pipe. Look at that, went up to 283 once I put that one in. Yeah, keep going. More pipe run. Hit enter, 431. So those quantity takeoff legends, these smart legends, these are awesome for this kind of work. Lots of uses for these legends, but they're smart, they're dynamic. You can still move it around. And as I keep adding measurements, it's gonna keep updating that thing. Don't forget about your markups list. If you're a savvy user, you know all about your markups list. If you're new to Bluebeam, markups list is kind of a just touching once you get into it. Everything, every markup that you're putting, every comment, everything you're putting in your Bluebeam PDF is going to show up here in your markups list with so much data. And you have so much control, you can change these columns around, you can do all kinds of things. But in the quantity takeoff workflow, it's going to put those measurements in there, and it's going to add those in. It's going to tally them all each time you do one. You can make different colors and different things for different, if we're going to start doing some area measurements of concrete, or if we're going to start doing some area measurements of landscape, we can have different colors and things associated with those, so that way they're getting grouped up separately. All of that's possible. And you can even take these, once you have these numbers, that's where the money's at, you can take those and you can export them to Excel, put your dollar values to them, have your bond estimates ready to go, construction estimates ready to go, just plug in that quick. You can make dynamic links into Excel, so that way as you're starting to draw these lines and measurements, it's automatically just dynamically updating that Excel document. All of that's built into Bluebeam and available to you. Let me show you another cool piece. Get into the future, the AI. The AI, there's AI. There's a cool little image search tool. I did a Control F to pull up the search, or you can click on the search button right there, the magnifying glass. And we can search images. If you toggle here, it wants to search text, but there's another button right there, little image icon. Click on that. This is where the money's at. You go to Get Rectangle, and then you can tell it, okay, so maybe this little catch basin, inlet, whatever. I just draw the rectangle over that. That's what it's going to look for. This may be hard to see, depending on your eye adjustment. If you focus on that white box, eventually the yellow will pop out in your eyes, but it took a picture and it's isolated that yellow rectangle right there. If you're colorblind or you can't see it, you can take my word for it. I can see it. Okay, we'll hit search. Let me get rid of this markup list. So I found a few of them. And then when it finds those, I can hit select, and then I can say, apply a count measurement. check mark. So I found a few and did that. So once you got those, you can do that. Take a look at some of these. We can do, I click on that, right click, go to the legend, create a new legend. Oh, Alan, you're the legend. I know. Look, it's got the count measurement of 3. It didn't pick them all up. That wasn't its best showing of its abilities. But that's okay. Want to show you this part of the workflow anyway. You go right here into your markups list, right click, hit resume count. This is always going to be, it's not a perfect tool where it's going to pick up everything. So you still need to go back and spot check. And that's why this layers tool is so much a part of it. But now I hit resume my count and it gave me the check mark and I can visually go through, keep counting, putting the check mark on any of those other ones I missed. There's one there. Big one there. Big one. Yeah, we'll count the big ones too. Boom, boom, boom. Hit enter. Let's look at that smart legend over there. Updated my count to 16. Thank you. So very dynamic, very ready to go. Let's try these little crates. Get the rectangle. Let's try to do a count of those. That came in a lot nicer, the white on red. Okay, thank you. Hit search. Get rid of that markup list. Boom, look at all these I found. I can click the select all button right there. Apply a measurement. Let's say we'll do the triangle on those. Going to put a big fat triangle on top of them when it counts them. Boom. All right. Looking good. I'm going to right click on those triangle counts, make a legend for those, create a new legend. Boom. And of course I can resume the count and keep counting on those as well. Just go up to my markup list, look for that count with a million gazillion already. Hit resume count. It's going to give me that triangle icon. Boom. You can start putting on any that it missed. Go around and do that. It's going to update. Once I hit enter, it updates those counts in real time. So really cool. The smart legend, the image search tool, just to like take a hatchet to that counting. That's what it's supposed to do. Just take a hatchet to it. You got to go back through with your scalpel. But having those layer isolate tools helps, it makes it really easy to go through with your scalpel and get good accurate counts off of the PDF. All right, guys. Oh my goodness, it's time for cool. We're gonna get into some cool tips and tricks. This is the time. This is the time to get into it. Let's do it. Little shortcuts, little things that we don't always think about, that we don't always learn, whether it's formal training or on the job. Little like, oh, well, if you hold control, if you hold shift, like this kind of stuff happens. Let's get into some of those. I'm going to make a measurement. Let me go over here. I'll do my poly, and I'm going to measure, from endpoint there to endpoint of that line there. All right. So just like in AutoCAD or Civil 3D, hey, we got it open. Might as well go over there. I do a polyline, and I can add a vertice. When I hover, add a vertex, add a vertice. Vertice is plural. Vertex, add the vertex. Try to sound fancy and just shoot myself in the foot. Add the vertex, and then you can add those extra You can add as many vertices as you want. We have that tool in Bluebeam too. Click on your line or your measurement. Hit shift, click, boom. Look at that. Put the vertex right there. You can add as many vertices as you want. In this case, we only need one to make it line up nice. Something like that. Just snapped onto the endpoint of that little grate or something. I'll take it. It's close enough. There we go. So we can add a vertex whenever we want to a line. It's shift, hold down shift and click. Shift and click. Let's talk about some others. Let's say I'm drawing a measurement. And let's say I just want to go straight, just for an eyeball, I want to go straight from here over to here, but I want to make sure it's a straight line. You can see it's not completely straight. It's going a little diagonal. You can never guarantee it's going to be completely straight when you're eyeballing it in. I wish I had an ortho tool like I have in AutoCAD. Hold down Shift. Hold down Shift while you're drawing that, and it'll lock you in at a 90-degree or even a 45-degree angle. I'm holding Shift while hovering my mouse. I haven't selected my second point of the line yet, but as long as you hold Shift, that will work. And then make your click, boom, perfectly 90-degree line. So you get that ortho mode when you hold down Shift. Did you know that also works in AutoCAD? Oh my goodness, holding Shift. Oh, making a liar out of me. Hold down on Shift. Okay, sorry, made a liar out of me in front of my friends. It works, I'm losing my finesse. Okay, let's look at another couple cool ones. And draw a quick circle. So let's say I've got some type of markup right there, circle. Let's say that's supposed to be over there. If I hold down Control and then do a click and hold on that object, click and hold while holding Control, and then release, that's a quick copy. Quick copy, and then it gives me that ability to drag and drop. Because if I do a copy, like a Control-C and a Control-V, it's just going to put it kind of at this random spot that's following my mouse. If you ever thought it was random, it's actually look wherever my mouse was sitting. Control-V. See? So that's one cool thing, Control-C, Control-V, but also just selecting the item. Go into Control, click and hold, and then release. You can even use your ortho when you are moving this item. Hold down your Shift. Hold down your Shift and you'll get those straight line when you're doing those manipulations there as well. Let's turn these layers back on and I'll show you another couple cool tips and tricks. Let's say you're either marking this up or you just have some instance where you are just trying to clean this thing up so you can ship it or make some room where you need to put a signature and a stamp somewhere here in your paper space. We have some really cool tools right here in the Edit dropdown, PDF content. You can cut content, erase content, copy content, and you can paste it just like an old school piece of paper with your scissors and your glue stick. You can do it just like that, I promise. Watch this. You go Edit, PDF content, cut content. Let's say I need to move this detail into this little side margin. Go right there. Cuts it out. Come on now, wake up, computer. It's taking its time. It's running a little slow in front of my friends. I'm so sorry. Quick delay while it thinks. Not sure where the delay is coming from. Normally a very snappy tool. It's on my hardware side. I apologize. Let's see if it took. Did not. Let's try this one. Edit, PDF content. Let's cut the content right there. Let's Not happy with me. I'm gonna try to get you a fresh. We clear up some of the real estate here. Give me 2 seconds. See if we can work in here. Let's see if you want to work here. There we go. Now it's working snappy. Thank you for your patience. I do that quick cut, and then a Control V will give me a paste like a glue stick. And so I can manipulate anything in the PDF, just like that. Where are you at? Edit, PDF content. Cut that content. Let's say I needed to move this guy into that margin. That's what I said. Here it comes. Boom. We're moved into that margin. Now I got space here for maybe a stamp, a signature, some other construction notes that I wanted to copy and paste in. Really cool ability to do that. It's only that slick and cool when you are in this kind of software. Bluebeam Review. Let me show you back again on this guy. Let's say I wanted to take some of these construction notes and drop them in over here on this other type of construction document. You go to snapshot content, and that works like a copy. Go right there, draw your rectangle, snapshot done. Come over here, Control V, boom, construction notes copied and pasted, just like you literally cut them out, put them on there with a glue stick. So nice. You have this ability to just move stuff around on the PDFs. It's probably something you feel frustrated with, getting those kind of tools working on any other kind of software. So simple on Bluebeam. Let's talk about hotkeys. We're all civil, we're all AutoCAD-based type people working in AutoCAD. You're used to some command typing, you know, putting an L spacebar to get your line command up, PL for your polyline, that kind of thing. If you notice right here, all of our hotkeys, all of our tools, by the way, exist in these drop-down flyouts on the top. You know, in AutoCAD and Civil 3D, there's a million different ways to get into everything, and some things you can only get into with a right click. Some things are only, there's a button on the ribbon. Some things you have to memorize a command. Bluebeam's not that way. There is spots where things are duplicated, like your toolbars and things like that, and in the right click, but everything exists up here. And it has the name, or it has the alias for the hotkey right there. So line, arrow, let's give it a try. If I go L, there we go, L, L, good, A, it's an arrow. And so I can just type those things in, and just like AutoCAD, I can be used on the keyboard with my left hand, my mouse with the right hand, and typing in commands. A lot of us know that alias edit type tool where you can, that's the command in AutoCAD, where you can change the aliases around. We have that ability as well here in Bluebeam. You go to your review, drop down flyout, keyboard shortcuts, you can click on that. Here's the list. And if you wanted to change anything, such as you want arc to be A and not arrow, you just go right there, reassign it. Click on arc, you know, put A. It'll let you know that's already assigned to arrow, and you can be fine with that. You hit reassign, hit OK. You can start changing the aliases around at will, and you can always restore the defaults if you went to kablooey. I'm going to hit cancel and not make mine go kablooey, but I wanted to make you know where all that stuff is. If you got commands that you have memorized in AutoCAD, use those same commands over here. If you use L, if you use P for polyline, if you use whatever, C for circle, start changing those shortcuts, aliases, so they match, and that'll make you so much more efficient here in Bluebeam. All right, I got some cool stuff to show you still. I want to show you guys some flags, a flag tool. So here I got a big construction document. Good look here, my thumbnails. It's got mini sheets. Oh, here's another one. You may be going like, oh, that background is in black and that's so cool. Is he in dark mode? Do they have dark mode now? They do. The last update, or 2 updates ago, we got dark mode finally. After all these years of waiting, I can toggle it on and off. If you just go to your view, drop down flyout, it's also Control 3, dark mode. Dark mode. So it'll reverse the colors just like your AutoCAD, so that way the back of the space isn't white. The back of the space on paper isn't white. Makes it black. And it's so nice on your eyes when you sit here staring at this stuff for 8, 10, 12 hours a day because you're such a hard worker. It just kills your eyes. You start seeing this white. You start seeing these documents in your sleep when you close your eyes. And it will help so much on the strain on your eyes. Go into dark mode. Another good hot tip and trick. Okay. We got our flags. Let's talk about flags. So let's say the flags are kind of like named views. Remember named views in Civil 3D and in AutoCAD? I could go right here. Let's say on this, I got this construction notes, and I'm going to need to reference this as I'm going through the design or I'm going through and checking these other sheets. I can make a quick flag, show you how to do it. Go to your flag tab, hit add. We'll call it, sheet 2, construction notes. Very detailed, very good name. Right click on that flag and hit action, snapshot view. This one's really cool. Hit get rectangle. Then you draw that rectangle over where you want it to snap and hit OK. And then now as I'm going through here and I'm making measurements, or I'm like, oh, well, what was that? I need to reference that construction notes. Just click on the flag there, boom, snaps me over to that page right away. You can make as many of those as you want. Let's play with it a little more. Let's say where's another piece of data I might want? Let's say there's this legend. Let's say I'm going to need to reference that over and over. Line type legend. Hit add instead of hitting action. Action for you, snapshot view, get rectangle. Hit OK. All right, so now we're navigating through. I'm seeing some lines on here. What type of line is that? Oh, I know I got my line type legend ready to go. Boom, you just click it, navigates you and snaps you, zooms, pans, preset views all the way like you have in AutoCAD and Civil 3D using the flags. Very handy tool for your tool belt. If you're not using that, definitely want to get it in there. Let's look at a couple other cool markup tools that we have available. So I'm going along here doing my red line markup. And let's say, okay, I've got some drafting issues. Where's my call out? There we go. A different profile that I normally use. So I do my construction cloud with the call out. Fix text collisions, basic drafting stuff. Let's say, just maybe make believe riffing here. Adjust text height for height for line segment labels. So let's say I've got my comments that I put all over here. And some of us, this is a question that comes up, is quick translations. If we are sending some of our entry-level drafting, kind of like little text cleanups and things like that abroad, to translate those into another language. You can translate those markups. You're sending things south of the border. You're sending things to India, to the Philippines. Do a quick translate. Boom. You got your thing, your comments in your Filipino, Tagalog, Spanish, whatever it may be. Oh, I need to go back to English first. Sorry, I told it to go English to Spanish. Translate markups. It's like there was no English to Spanish. Okay. So if you got any kind of international projects, or if you are outsourcing abroad for that entry-level type drafting, that might be a game changer for you if there's any kind of language barrier stuff with the documents that you're sending. So really cool tool to have. All right, I'm gonna put it back in English. Let's say we got, let's see if I can find something cool. I'm gonna make a quick markup here. We had a driveway out to the jetway. I just can't find it. I don't know. Maybe that one? I'm losing my context on these plans, but that's okay. That here, you know, make wider the pathway to jetway, you know, something, some type of design comment, very, very specific, of course. We can add images. It's called the capture. So we can add that into our comments. We can put an image associated with the. I'm going to navigate to my image real quick while we play this Civil War march for you in the background. That wasn't part of the plan, I promise. Okay, here we go. I got a nice little picture here that I just clicked through in my Windows Explorer environment. And then you can click there. You got some image going on there in the construction site that needs what widening or whatever. You can add images in like so. Let's say I take another markup, such as a highlighter, and it's running on, you know, some kind of wall issue. Go something like that. Right click on it, I can add my capture to any type of markup. Can go over here, my picture of a wall. Now that's associated there. You see the little capture icon. Click there, there's my picture of the issue. You know, any kind of thing like that. You can put images into the comment and they're linked in there like that. We can also put images in directly, and this will kind of insert the image in directly on top. If you don't want to have it in as part of a comment, but you want to like paste that image on top, as if you printed it out, put glue stick on the back of it, and you're trying to slap it right on top of there. You have that ability too. You just do it as a tools markup and an image. Put it from file. There we go, got that. Let's say, good old Pee-wee in there. And so this is not like a capture, but this actually puts the image directly on top. That's the doll he took to the show. We'll put it right there for everyone to see. So two ways to put an image in. You can put it on directly as a markup here, or you can put a capture inside of a markup and have it referenced in that way, and it gives you these little icons. It's a really powerful tool to keep pictures, and you can put in pictures, you can put in 360 images, and you can put in video. So if you got a video of the issue that would better tell the story, you can put video in your captures as well. One more thing I wanted to show you. Really cool tool here. Let me get a little more real estate. There we go. Really cool tool that we have is our stamps. So as you play with these, you go to your tools, stamps fly out. You know, these are all the basic default ones that come out of the box. I can hit approved. You're approved. For review, you know, so you can put whatever kind of stamp you want on there. There's a cool little one, and that's a little seal. Seal of approval. For our civil folks, you probably are looking to try to make some type of PE stamp. I can show you how you can edit these, so that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's go through that. It's pretty simple. So you can create a stamp from scratch. All stamps are PDFs. And so it basically just inserts a transparent where the white background was, inserts as transparent, and then this is that PDF. If we're going to open it up in a second, you'll see it's just the line work, circles, and text of a PDF. If you go to your stamp flyout, you can see that you have this change stamp folder. That'll give you the directory where the stamps live. If I go right there and hit Control-C to copy that directory, cancel, I'm gonna open a new Windows Explorer, throw that in there, stamps. You'll see here's that list of stamps, and they're just PDFs. Let's see, I wanna take that seal, I'm gonna do Control-C and a Control-V, because I'm in that directory. It's called seal copy right now. I'm gonna change it to PE stamp. Something like that. And so now that PE stamp, just like that, is going to show up right here in my stamp flyout. Look at that, PE stamp. I can go over here, hit that edit. You can edit any one of these by hitting the pencil next to it. Hit the pencil next to it, brings it up here in real time. Then I just use all of my other skills in Bluebeam to make this thing work appropriately. I'll call it professional. Oh, come on, don't make me look bad in front of my friends. Work properly the first time. Edit text, there we go. Professional engineer. Maybe that text is a little too big. Can switch it, get that font size down to more appropriate, something like that. And this is just a little crude basic markup to make it, you know, you can dial this stuff in, get everything centered, get the text, you know, make it look exactly like your stamp. Put my typewriter in here, and you know, Alan Bliss in PE. That's for not a PE. Don't want to false advertise. Put another one here. You can have a dynamic date. You'll see when you have that typewriter tool, it has that little dynamic thing floating around. Look at that. Just go right there, hit that drop down fly out there, put a date, dynamic date. Maybe I'll do a little pin to sign it. Don't go selling this. Don't go screenshotting, selling my cool little signature there. It's famous. It's worth a lot of money. Okay. Crude little PE stamp, but that's basics. In a few minutes, how to go through it. I'm going to hit save, close that. And now when I go to tools and stamp, PE stamp, boom, look at that PE stamp pop right in. So you can take a few more minutes, more time in developing your stamp, but that's the gist of it. Little formatting and stuff like that on the date. Probably text is too big, or the text box needs to be a little bigger. Things like that. Maybe you need more line work, whatever. But that's the gist of it. You can handle it from there. So those are some fun, cool things that I thought would be just game-changing. Add a lot of value to the software if you didn't know about it or didn't have it in your tool belt for the civil disciplines. That's what I got planned for us. I'm going to stop it there. I got a bunch more that I could go into, but we're at 51 minutes past. I want to leave some time for some Q&A. And I'm going to open us up for that. This is the slide for the Q&A. It's got my LinkedIn. Feel free to hook up with me on there. Schedule any kind of demo. You can reach out to your IMAGINiT rep, or there's our 1-800 number to get hooked up with all that, and QR code for free trial to Bluebeam.